Counter-Strike is a game that has gone through many phases of development. And within each of these games, there have been some horrific game-breaking eras. And the craziest part about all of that is that the game is still reaching peak player counts over 25 years later, which made me realize there's a lot of new players who have no idea about some of the chaos these older updates brought to the game. For some perspective, even if you've been playing Counter-Strike for a whole decade, you would have missed the time that the CZ75 was meta and regularly used by pros because of how broken it was. These days I don't even see them in game, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these new players I talked about don't even know it exists. Or how about the time in 2018 when the org got buffed and turned Counter-Strike esports into games of COD esports, with nearly every single pro using the scoped org. We can even go way back in time to 2003 when a riot shield was added to CS 1.6, allowing players to essentially constantly alternate between literal invincibility or pistol spam. But for me, there's one single update in my mind that tops all of these. The R8 Revolver update, released December 8th, 2015, probably marks the craziest day of competitive Counter-Strike ever. Even to this day, when compared with other weapons in the game, it's a very unique addition to Counter-Strike. As an initial charge time before shooting, and an alternate fire that shoots bullets much faster, with the obvious downside of there being higher bullet spread. And for those of you who don't remember, at launch this gun was nicknamed the Pocket Orb, and that probably tells you everything you need to know before we look at the stats. Initially, the R8 Revolver had 100% first bullet accuracy, 93% armor penetration, and a base damage stat of 115, which meant that it had the exact same base damage as an orb. I don't know why this existed. And as mentioned before, the only drawback was that you have to cock it back before shooting it. So with these stats in mind, you could feasibly 1v1 literally anybody from any range, no matter what gun they were using. And because of that, back then you'd find entire ranked lobbies full of players exclusively using the revolver because it was stupid not to. Literally everyone was doing it. And if you weren't, you were going to lose the game. The entire game of Counter-Strike that day just went to complete shit. And this update wasn't only broken in the meta sense either. The gun was full of glitches, including one that lets you pre-chamber a bullet and run around without having to cock it back at all, essentially removing the only drawback in nerf that it had. There was also this weird useless bug that let you shoot in spawn with the alt fire, which is pretty fucking pointless unless you're trying to get banned, and there's probably so many more that I'm not remembering. But yeah, with that, I think it's very fair to say that Valve probably didn't test this update at all and just hoped for the best when they pushed it. This was further cemented when they nerfed it the very next day, which I don't think they've done with any gun in the past before. And it received some heavy nerfs. 25% reduced damage, 8.3% increased bullet spread, a heavily increased charge time of 20%, and a heavily decreased right-click accuracy of 20% reduction. And honestly, while the weapon nerfs were needed, they've literally just nerfed it into hell. After this update, I didn't see a single soul trying to use it. It went from being the most used gun in the game by far, to suffering the same fate as the CZ75 and becoming another weapon in the pile of forgotten weapons that no one uses. And as a side note, this gun was so buggy that to this day, people are still finding glitches for it. Just a week prior to recording this video, people found another way to get around cocking the R8 Revolver. Like, this gun just wasn't supposed to be in the game. And the last time that Valve added a new weapon to Counter-Strike is approaching 7 years, back when they added the MP5 SD, which was such a shit release that no one even uses it now. And I think this is a clear sign that they're very terrified of messing up the game's ecosystem, even slightly. Almost similar to how they've been banning a bunch of community-made mods in fear that they'll steal the player base, which I'll probably go through in a different video. But to get back on track, all these new players probably just have the R8 Revolver collecting dust in their inventory and have no idea what it was once capable of back in 2015. And yeah, it was broken. At the time, everyone was complaining, but I'm just glad me and my friends got to experience what it felt like to use the R8 Revolver as an AWP for a day in competitive Counter-Strike.